Good evening. The Rio Rancho Public Schools Board of Education meeting for Monday, November 17th, 2025 is now called to order. All please arise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Jessica Tyler will lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
JC, can you do a roll call for us?
Board President Galbraith,
Present.
Vice President Morgan, Secretary Tyler,
Present.
Board Member Tripp,
Present.
Board Member Miller.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Well, we'd like to welcome everyone out and excuse Vice President Morgan, who's not able to be with us tonight. I always find this as a really funny time of the year. I was looking out before we started our meeting, and it was like midnight, and everyone was so quiet in here. Just with that time change, it really it does. It feels like we should all be at home. But I'm so grateful for everyone who came out tonight. We will start our meeting with introductory comments by our superintendent of schools, Dr. Bisu Cleveland.
Good evening, and again, thank you all for being with us this evening. We have some commendations this evening. Cleveland High School Storm Regiment Marching Band. Dr. Kurt Schmidt, our Executive Director of Fine Arts, will be sharing with the board and the community some information regarding the Marching Band State Championship and the New Mexico State University Tournament of Bands competitions. We want to congratulate the members of the band and certainly our directors, Daniel Holmes and Assistant Director Josh Dumace. But again, they have two wonderful state championships to bring back to the district, and we congratulate them. These are very competitive events. It takes a lot of hard work to take the championship in New Mexico, and we congratulate them on their outstanding performance. We have some capital outlay related requests. The first one is capital outlay request, House Bill 450. Patrick Martinez, our Executive Director for Facilities, and Mike Baker, our Chief Operations Officer, will present these items for the board to consider. The board is asked to approve an appropriation of $790,051 from the Public School Outlay Fund that was provided by House Bill 450. This particular bill has a limited scope in terms of what you can use the money for. Funds can be used for school security improvements, career technical education facilities, or for maintenance and repair of public school buildings for the year 2026 and beyond. And then the second related request, the board will be asked to consider approval fiscal year 2026 capital outlay project requests. In other words, since we are requesting for several departments, including athletics, facilities and others, fine arts, IT, security, and transportation. We want to talk just very briefly this evening about student transportation and in particular electric buses. We have electric buses, you obviously have to have the infrastructure for charging those buses. And so the state in this last session looked at how to begin that effort in the state of New Mexico. Senate Bill 45, Community Benefit Funds for EV School Buses. During the legislative session, Lauren Hatch and I had an opportunity to visit with the sponsor of this legislation. There is considerable funding this year going into a pilot program statewide for EV school buses in New Mexico. And while we have some concerns in terms of how that will work and about some of the challenges that electric buses present in New Mexico, we also believed it was very prudent to participate in the program because we had consistently voiced that we needed additional school buses. And so felt like it was important to try to be part of this initiative. PSFA funding will provide the district 6 electric buses, and all of the work must be completed, ordering and the infrastructure by the end of fiscal year 2028. As I mentioned before, you have to have the structure, infrastructure for it. And this award will also provide for 5 electric vehicle charging stations and an upgrade of the electrical systems to support charging infrastructure. And again, the deadline is fiscal year 2028. A total for both projects allocated to the district is $4 million. Mike Baker, our Chief Operations Officer, and/or Nick Brook, our Executive Director of Student Transportation, can answer any questions that the board may have on this project. We also have a request of the board related to E-rate category 1, which is internet access. I'm sure you are very much aware by now that the E-rate is a very important source of revenue for technology in public schools. And this request, as I said, is for E-rate category 1, which is the internet access. The board is being asked to consider approval of the recommendation to issue an award to the highest ranked offerer, which is Unite Private Networks, LLC, DBA Segura. And we'll explain what those mean in just a moment. This item will be presented by Mike Baker. Scott Leppelman, our Executive Director of IT, is also available if you have any questions as well. And then the operational department has several requests this evening. Mike Baker would like to present them kind of as a package. These are proposed contractor awards. Basically, the same methodology was used in the selection of the contractors to be awarded contracts. And the board is asked to consider approval of awards in each of these areas. One of them is integrated pest control, electrical contractor on demand, HVAC contractor on demand, plumbing contractor on demand, and glass repair and maintenance contractor on demand. And then the last is something we've been talking with the board about for a considerable period of time. Mike will once again review the proposed land purchase transaction and ask for the delegation to allow the district to close the deal. This particular item has been presented to the board by Mike and Lauren Hatch, Chief Legal Counsel, on several previous occasions. This request is to finally close out and finish that transaction. So it's something we've been working on for a really long time, and but again, we'll have an opportunity to preview that and for the board to ask any questions that you might have. Are there any comments or concerns?
From the board, Gary, any questions? I think he's good. Okay.
We've had
No questions.
we've had a Renee Salcedo night, and we've had a Jana Chenault night, and tonight is a Mike Baker night.
Yeah.
So,
We're
good.
excited to just set his camp up and go through everything tonight. So, all right, moving on, we will approve the prioritized agenda and propose time allocations.
Madam President, this is Board Member Tyler. I'll make a motion to approve the prioritized agenda and proposed time allocations.
Board Member Miller, second the motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, we'll now move into our commendations for the evening. We have the Cleveland High School Storm Regiment Marching Band State Championship and NMSU Tournament of Bands. Kurt Schmidt, our Executive Director of Fine Arts, will present and bring up all those who are with him.
President
There you go.
Galbraith, members of the board, Dr. Cleveland. Tonight, I'm very excited and proud to present to you for accommodation the Cleveland Storm Regiment. The month of October was very good to both school marching band programs. At the 3 final marching band competitions, the bands at both high schools finished either first or second in their respective competitions. Tonight, we're here to celebrate the CHS marching band's first place finish at the NMAA State Marching Band Contest and the grand champion finish at the NMSU Tournament of Bands. The band's show featured the music of Percy Aldridge Granger, combined with the TV series Stranger Things. The show was aptly and whimsically named Granger Things. The show was a visual delight of colors and intricate movement and a musical tour de force. At the state contest, the band also received high music, high general effect, and best percussion. At the tournament of bands, the band won Best Percussion and Best Drum Majors, 3 of whom are here today with us. I would like to invite Mr. Daniel Holmes, the CHS Director of Bands, and Mr. Joshua Dumais, Associate Band Director, to say a few words and introduce the rest of the staff and student leaders. So, who's first?
Cool. Thank you guys so much. We're very proud of the students in the program, but it truly takes a village. So we would like to thank Dr. Schmidt, our campus leadership, and the Rio Rancho Public School Board for all of your support of our fine arts programs and for the Cleveland Storm Regiment. I'd also like to recognize some of our staff members that could not be here today. Mr. Will Kramer, our percussion coordinator. Mr. Joseph Santiago also helps with our percussion. Miss Mamie Mitchell, the dance instructor at Cleveland High School that helps with our color guard. El Mascarenas, our color guard instructor, Daniela Holmes, and Justin Bethany that help with our percussion as well. So we want to thank everyone, and of course our Ms. Farrah Hurd and our wonderful booster organization. And the parents do an awful lot to make these shows happen too, from building props and moving things. So we're just very blessed to have so much support here. Here's Mr. Dumais.
And I will echo all of those thanks to the board and to the school, and our admin, and Dr. Schmidt and the parents. But I'd also like to recognize not only does it take a village of adults, but it takes a village of student leaders. And so we have 3 of them today. We've got Darius Smith, okay, Juliet Paul, and Sophia Trappin. So I just want to make sure we recognize them here tonight as well. They exude the best that is in our Storm Regiment organization. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Does any of the students, do any of you guys want to add some words? You're welcome to. And you do not have to if you don't want to. I do want to give you an opportunity. Thank you. I know, right? It's so true. Well, thank you all for coming in. I haven't had a chance to really watch the bands as much this year, but I have students at a different school, and I've been trying to keep up with all of the good things that have been happening. And I was just so excited to hear that you guys have done so well. I truly love Cleveland's band program as a whole. Both of these, you are just so talented. So thank you for the directors and for the students for just doing such a good job. Dr. Cleveland, you want to add anything?
I just re-emphasize what an amazing season you have had, and you have just done an incredible job. Great leadership and just commitment of the members of the band, and you have so much to be proud of. And we thank you for representing our Cleveland High School and our district in such a positive way. So again, congratulations on a wonderful job that you have done this year.
Yeah, thank you. And I feel like you should tell the football team that it's actually all of you guys that is creating that success for them. It all comes from our marching band. Did you guys get a chance to go out to Zia this year? Were you a part of that this year? Oh, okay. So that wasn't going to work. Okay, very good. Anyone else from the board want to add anything?
No, just congratulations and thank you for being here tonight.
Yes, we're very proud of all of you. Thank you. Thank your parents. Keeping gas in the car so you can get to your practices and those kinds of things. It does take a lot of effort. I'm very partial to marching band, so this is just great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Anything else? All right. I want to double check with JC. We don't have any public comment, correct? Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So no public comment for tonight. So we'll move into our consent agenda.
Madam President, this is Board Member Tyler. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Okay, motion in a second. And all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, we will now move into the business portion of our meeting for tonight. So our first will be to consider the approval of public school capital outlay for House Bill 450. And we have Michael Baker, our Chief Operations Officer, who will be presenting.
Yes, President Galbraith.
You're good.
Sorry about that. Wasn't sure. Doesn't sound like it's on. Dr. Cleveland, members of the school board. This a capital outlay request for approval is pretty straightforward. During the legislative session, the legislature approved House Bill 450, which among other things includes funding for security infrastructure. And so with the award, we plan on replacing fencing, number one. Number two, surveillance cameras. Number three, repairing access control. And finally, enhancing our radio communication system. The award is for approximately $790,000. And I stand for questions.
Okay. Dr. Cleveland, do you want to add anything? Do you want to add anything to what he?
Just that it's something I can't imagine the board would not want to accept. I mean, we are, some years are better years than others, and this was a year which was a much better year for the district. So we're very grateful for the funding from PSFA, but we're also really grateful for the people who worked with them, give them the information they needed to be able to make a favorable decision in support of the school district. And so Mike and Patrick and others, we appreciate the time and effort that went in to getting this approved.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions from the board?
PSFA funding is all competitive. I assume you are aware of that.
Yeah, no, this is wonderful. I'm so grateful for it.
Madam President, this is Board Member Tyler. I'll make a motion to approve the public school capital outlay for House Bill 450.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Okay. Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Madam President,
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm wondering if we could ask Dr. Cleveland and Mr. Baker to send a personal thank you to our local legislators. That's a large sum of money, and that's going to go a long ways in the safety and security of our school district. Just want to throw a shout out, if you will, to our local legislators. That's a huge amount of money. It's going a long ways for our children. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, thank you. Gary, if I forget about you, just keep doing that and pop on. I appreciate it. Okay, our next is to consider approval of fiscal year 2026 public school capital outlay requests, and Patrick Martinez, our Executive Director of Facilities, will present.
Thank you, President Galbraith, Dr. Cleveland, members of the board. As you said, I'm here to present the fiscal year 26 capital outlay project request for the district. And these consist of the following departments: athletics, facilities, transportation, security, IT, fine arts, and other. And that one has to do with our UFO center. So we'll go over that. The first is our athletic projects. We are going to be asking the legislatures for $800,000 to replace the softball press box at the Rio Rancho High School softball complex. The image there you see is the current treehouse that is on top of a dugout and is in pretty bad shape. So we've been working closely with athletics to see what the best option is for replacing this. And it's not going to be an easy or inexpensive project, but we definitely think it's needed. And with that, we're hoping to get some ADA upgrades, things like that. The other one is a Lincoln Middle School tennis court. Lincoln Middle School currently is the only middle school that does not have a tennis court. And in this past year, there's been some interest in that at the school level. And so we want to look at adding one of those there. And then the last one, and this was kind of a newer ad, but we think it's definitely something that's needed, is a Cleveland High School locker room. Currently, that we've had to outfit what was a storage room with some lockers to just expand their locker room situation. And so this would just be able to take it kind of to the next level and provide some restrooms and the things it needs to really be outfitted for a locker room. So we think that's definitely something that's needed at the school. As far as facilities goes, we're looking for $400,000 to replace the storefront outside of the media center cafeteria area at Mountain View Middle School. We are actually requesting from PSFA the exact same thing for Eagle Ridge Middle School, and this was one of our PSFA projects. Unfortunately, Mountain View Middle School is in the same boat. The storefront there is starting to rust, and there's some structural integrity that we're we want to take a look at and make sure that we can take care of that. So hopefully we'll get both of those schools done in the next year if we're awarded this. And then the other one, in the past 2 years, we've asked for funds to replace the Cielo Azul parking lot. That is a pretty hefty number. So as of right now, what we want to look at is the design. We are going to have to look at redesigning that entire parking lot, and hopefully, once we get a good design in, we can go back later to see if we can get funding for the actual construction of it. Our next one is with transportation. Transportation's asking to expand their fleet with 20 buses, and so they'll be asking for $3 million to do that. As you heard earlier, we are going to be getting electric buses, but again, as you know, we're still short, and so this 20 buses would definitely help out. And with that, we'll be looking for $60,000 to look at design just at this point for a parking lot expansion. So if we were able to get these buses, we definitely would need more space for the parking lot, the bus parking lot that's currently at transportation. Our next set of requests are for security. We work closely with Sal and his department to look at, one of their biggest needs. And, besides fencing, which is always, one of the biggest needs, is looking at classroom lock sets, upgrading those. We have a lot that are out of date, and we want to make sure that those are the best they can be. And with that, and so we're asking for $200,000 for that, and then an additional $250,000 for what are called the N-gauge access control door lock sets, which are battery operated. Going in and replacing a lot of those are out of date as well, and so we'll be looking to replace those. IT projects, all intercoms. I know Scott's mentioned it in the past, but a lot of our intercom systems are out of date. It's hard to find parts for a lot of our existing intercom systems. So we'll be asking for $1 million for Rancho Middle School. It's a fairly large campus. $450,000 for Eagle Ridge, $350,000 for Vista Grande, and $400,000 for Lincoln Middle School. And again, it's really difficult to find parts for a lot of these outdated systems. So the goal is to bring them up to a standard that we can maintain better. Fine arts, we work closely with Kurt to look at both marching bands. This is something that's kind of been on our radar for a little while. Rio Rancho High School, as you know, there's this kind of in a drainage area, and so we want to look at making that one a little bit better. But then there's some other upgrades that Cleveland High School also requesting to really just kind of bring those marching band facilities up to a better standard. And we're asking for $125,000 for both of those, for each of those. And then lastly, for our UFO center, we're going to be asking for a UFO interactive display. I don't have a ton of information. I don't know, Mike, did you want to touch on that a little bit more? We talked briefly, but you could probably do a better job of explaining exactly what that is and how it works.
So one of our legislators has an interest in the center and has actually asked us to put a project forward. So one of the things, after talking to the executive director, what would be best for the center and for our students. And we thought an interactive display where a lot of the information essentially goes on a monitor, and then you get to choose kind of where you want to go with a particular case, for example. So there could be information maybe about, there's a famous case in Farmington, for example, and if you're interested in that particular case, you could actually, hit the screen and it will take you up to you in different directions. And so it's interactive, it provides information. You'll see a lot of these displays at museums, and we think it's a really good learning tool.
Thanks. And with that, the last page of the presentation is really just a synopsis. It is missing Cleveland. Like I said, that was kind of a last minute ad. We can go back and update that for you guys. But with that, I will stand for questions.
We do have a question. So rarely do we get, like $3 million towards transportation. Can we, when we're sending that out, are we going to give them a breakdown of, this is how much maybe a bus costs, so they can at least get a breakdown of that? Is there a way to do that when we make these requests?
Yeah. So when we submit the request, when I receive the request from Nick, it has a full breakdown of the cost per bus. And so when we submit this to the state, we'll definitely, we have a way to do a full description of the project. So these are just kind of high level, but we can really get into the nitty gritty where we got the cost from. And a lot of these costs we've gotten from either design professionals or past projects, things like that. And so we'll definitely be able to give a full breakdown of per
Okay.
bus and, times 20.
I mean, I would take $3 million any day, but that would be good. Dr. Cleveland, did you want to add anything before I go to?
Just a couple of comments. The Rio Rancho High School softball complex, actually, the press box and most of the stuff there was actually built by the coach and the parents early in the district's history. And so it definitely needs an overhaul. It's it's lasted about 28 years and needs to be refurbished. And I mentioned it before, but I just want to really emphasize it again. Intercoms are just critical to classroom and student and staff safety. An emergency, you want to be able to call for the nurse, or you want to be able to call for some other, any other situation. And our intercoms, many of them are not working very well, if working at all. So we see this as really a critical need just to keep our students safe. And and again, the marching band fields are in terrible disrepair. Not really suited for marching on them very much. I think certainly Patrick or Kurt Schmidt can attest to the fact that these really need to be repaired. And so we really thank folks for considering these. These are things that we don't have any other sources to fund them. And when we get those kind of legislative supports for these kind of projects, they get done far earlier than they would if we had to wait in the regular funding process. So we thank our delegation for considering them. And we have an opportunity to present this before them, before the session. And we also have already met with a couple of them early in the process to let them know what was coming so that they are anticipating some of these requests. But again, thank you, Patrick, for all your work, Mike, on getting this list prepared. We do believe they are consistent with the legislative delegation's interests and intent to be of help in our schools.
Yeah, thank you. Great. Gary, do you have any questions or comments?
I do. I just wanted to say I concur with Dr. Cleveland on the Rio Rancho softball. That's a much needed, and it's going to show a lot of support back to the community. But I had a couple of questions for Mike on the UFO on the simulator. I didn't know if that was a simulator that is in museums all across the nation that is actually produced in Corrales, or are we going to put that out to RFP? And then also with that, is it something that can be interactive at the schools, or do the schools children need to come to the UFO station?
Yeah, so you're exactly right. The company is Idiom, and they're out of Corrales. And so they're the ones that actually produce this particular board. The board is actually quite large. I don't know how well it would be on the portability as far as bringing it to the schools. That could be a possibility. I know they have certain displays actually on wheels, potentially, that maybe we could use, but that's something that I think we might be able to explore in the future.
Yeah, or it may be an easy over time to get an elementary school there every so often. So that might be another possibility. But my other question was for Patrick, and that was about the marching band. And is that kind of cost? Does it take care of the complete needs of the marching band, surface, striping, and everything that they need in order to really to practice and perform well, so that
Yes.
they're already the best in the state, but just a kind of an overall concept of how that's going to look.
Yes. The goal is to be able to bring them up to a standard so that we're not having any of the similar issues. I know like Rio Rancho High School, for instance, we have a lot of issues with just where it's set. And so being able to resurface and really mitigate some of those issues. Another big issue is the towers. And I don't know if Kurt, you want to speak any more to that, but I know that Cleveland High School, the marching band tower is not in the ideal location, and being able to relocate that for, an optimal view. Did you want to touch on any of that?
The President Galbraith, members of the board, Dr. Cleveland, the organization of where the tower is with the fencing at Cleveland is not acoustically great. So we need to remove the fencing, bring it back, and push the tower back so that both visually and acoustically it's more effective. Also, I believe these amounts, to board member Tripp's point, these are an augmentation of funding we already have through the bond.
Correct.
Bond. So it's more to bring those up to with rising costs, just to make sure we have enough money for the resurfacing, restriping. But those costs were all calculated into the costs.
And just one last comment about that is just the safety aspect of that feature, that it's well laid out. I know we've had a couple of accidents. Notre Dame had one, I think, 2 years ago, and there was another one at a major university, just with the safety aspect of losing lives on falls. So just a little emphasis on the safety aspect of all that stuff gets redone. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I think my favorite part there was watching everyone's face trying to hear Gary say. Beth, do you have any questions or comments?
I do have a question about the UFO display as well. Is that organization seeking funding from other sources for some of their other projects, or are they looking to the district to kind of help them with that, with those?
I'll let Mike answer that one.
Yeah, so there are other funding sources. Probably any day now, the county has, as you recall, we entered into an MOU with the county, so they will be giving the center $40,000 in order to do a program for the center. We are also exploring pretty significant funding potentially with the federal government. And we'll see if that, actually pans out. But there has been quite a lot of interest, and hopefully as we move forward that we'll get more interest and we'll get more funding. As far as the funding from Rio Rancho, we provide the facility and they provide everything else.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Dr. Cleveland.
I really want to emphasize again, to be sure that everyone heard at the beginning of the presentation, this is legislator initiative.
I understand that.
Yeah. And I think that the whole thinking behind it is exactly what you said, is to generate some funding to get going, to be able to get others to come on board and help with the project. So our hope eventually is maybe to move it to a school site that has more room, and perhaps add some additional things to it. Perhaps the STEAM program, if we get that going at Rio Rancho Elementary, might be a future site for it. But we appreciate the fact that we've been able to have it at MLK because there's been sufficient space there. I think there is a lot of interest in the community, and it was legislator initiated.
Yeah, and as Mike said, that 40,000, for that program study that we're under MOU with is to look at what a center might look like, the feasibility around it, what are the requirements. That way, if the opportunity presents itself for a site like Rio Rancho Elementary, we're ready for that. And we kind of understand what that looks like.
Okay. Thank you. I think a plan would be important. Thank you.
Jessica?
I don't have any questions. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Okay, we can go for a motion unless there's any other comments.
This is Board Member Tyler. I'll make a motion to approve FY 2026 public school capital outlay requests.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, our next item is to consider the approval of Public School Facilities Authority funding for the 2025 Senate Bill 45, Community Benefit Funds for EV School Buses. Nick Brook, our Executive Director of Transportation, will present.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Cleveland. Tonight, I am requesting approval to accept funding awarded to Rio Rancho Public Schools through Senate Bill 45. Rio Rancho has been allocated $4 million to support the expansion of electric buses and the charging infrastructure required to operate them. For the first of my items this evening, approximately $2.6 million is designated for the purchase of 6 electric buses at roughly $430,000 per bus. Starting with 6 buses is the most responsible and strategic approach as we introduce this new technology. It allows us to train staff, evaluate real-time performance, and collect the data we need for smart long-term planning. For the second item, the remaining $1.4 million will fund the installation of chargers and initial infrastructure upgrades needed to support this pilot. This investment gives us opportunity to modernize our fleet and reduce emissions, which aligns with the state's long-term goals. And with that, I stand with any questions.
Okay. Dr. Cleveland, do you want to add anything to this?
I think, again, this is a statewide project. It's a pilot project. The goal is to see how feasible electric vehicles are in the state of New Mexico. We do already have several school districts that were in an earlier pilot. To be absolutely honest, there were mixed reviews on it. Challenges to get buses recharged if you have tiers, and the challenges of distance. And if you have hot weather, which we have plenty of, and now we're getting ready to have cold weather, that also lowers the number of miles that can be traveled. Being said, electric buses, I guess, are getting better all the time. There are new improvements, and many of our legislators do see electric vehicles as being a critical part of the bus fleet in the state of New Mexico. And so we were asked to participate, and we did submit a request to be part of this pilot, and we'll see how it goes. But it certainly is a priority for some of our legislators to at least really give it a fair assessment in terms of planning for the future for buses in New Mexico. And this bill was the pro tem bill, Senator Mimi Stewart.
Okay, thank you. I remember that coming through. Beth, any questions, comments? I'll go. Gary, any questions or comments about this?
You know, who is making electric buses? Where will they be coming from? Do we have a couple of different vendors out there, or is there one major company?
The 3 large main bus dealers, they all make an electric bus: Bluebird, Thomas, and International. And then there's a couple out-of-state dealers that make them. But here in state, with actual in-state support, it's going to be the 3 bigger bus distributors.
Great, thank you. No questions. Thank you for that.
Okay, thanks. And Jessica, any questions or motion?
As Board Member Tyler, I will make a motion to approve the Public School Facilities Authority funding for 2025 Senate Bill 45, the Community Benefit Funds for EV School Buses.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. And now, of course, with buses, we need charging stations. So that's the next, that's our next item.
That was the second item. So the remaining $1.4 million will fund the installation of the chargers and all the initial infrastructure upgrades that are required.
Okay. So does anyone have any other additional questions on this? I have a quick question, just paperwork wise. I'm looking at it right now from what I need to sign. So if someone wants to let me know, because they almost look identical, but it looks like there's 2 that need to be signed. So if maybe someone could just help me after the meeting. Is it, can anyone just tell me who needs to sign it exactly? It doesn't have, it just has a signature and a name and a date. Okay, we'll check it after. I just was kind of going through and I'm like, I have no idea. And I want to make sure everyone stays behind who needs to sign that paperwork. So if you could just let me know after the meeting. Okay, if there's no comments, we can go for a motion on
I'll
that.
make a motion to approve the Public School Facilities Authority funding for 2025 Senate Bill 45 Community Benefit Funds for EV charging stations.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, our next, I think we're going to go through the next 7 items together, right? Is that correct, Mike? You're going to kind of present all these and then we'll vote on them separately, but we'll go through each of them. So I'll announce the first one and then you can just kind of go through each of those as we go through. So the first is going to be consider the award of RFP number 2026-002-IT E-rate Category 1 Internet Access. And once again, Michael Baker, our Chief Operations Officer.
Yeah, and so before we begin, I just want to, that our Director of Purchasing, Michael Madrid, has unfortunately left our district, but he's going to a job that kind of hard to refuse. But we wish him well. I think he did a great service for our system, and so we have Kayla back here that has been picking up the slack. So really, a lot of this work is really from Kayla as well. I don't want to leave that out. And so with all of these, we have 6 contracts. There's all a very similar theme. So just like Dr. Cleveland said, and just like Madam President, what I will do is I'll just go through the commonality of these 6 contracts, and then we'll go through each one. The first one is a little bit different, but essentially we comply with the procurement code. We do a request for proposal. We solicit bids. Those bids come in. There's an evaluation. There's a committee that evaluates those vendors. And then the top scorer obviously is awarded. In many cases, in most cases, there's multiple awards, and I'll go through that. The first case is a little bit different. That is E-rate. And one of the benefits with E-rate is that the funding, 60% of the funding actually comes from the federal government. What we're looking at is internet access. And so the company UPN has actually scored quite high and is by far had submitted the best proposal. And so the committee recommends UPN. In addition, they also supply APS their internet access as well. Scott Leppelman is here for technical questions if you wish.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the board on this one? I don't think so. So Mike, as we go through them, do you mind if we vote on them and then you can just stay up here and we'll just keep going through, or do you want us to wait? So we're going to vote on each individual one and then you'll keep going through. Okay. I was like, because it's going to get really interesting trying to turn. Okay.
Hello. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
All right. So if there's no questions on this one, we can go for a motion.
Madam President, this is Board Member Tyler. I'll make a motion to approve the award of RFP number 2026-002-IT E-rate Category 1 Internet Access to the highest ranked offer, which was United Private Networks LLC, DBA Segura.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Go ahead.
Just,
sorry.
DBA, I did not know what that was until I went and looked it up. So DBA is doing business as, and so obviously the real business is,
The UT,
the first
yeah.
name, and the second is the
Mhm.
name that they market and do their business with.
Yeah.
So you learn something every day, and so I thought I'd just share that little bit of new knowledge with you.
Yeah, no, that's good. The only reason I knew that is because my husband is a businessman and we do a lot of that. So thank you though for that. Okay.
Okay, the next set of contracts actually are multiple awards. The purpose of the multiple awards is it gives us flexibility. And in many cases, these contracts have to do with facilities. And as you know, things break down. And when they break, typically we got to get them fixed very, very quickly. And so the reason for multiple awards is the flexibility. We are also looking at the responsiveness. We are trying to get competitive pricing on particular projects, and also the effectiveness. And that is the benefit of multiple awards. In regard to pest management, I don't know why, but we have seen a big influx in little mice trying to get into our building. And typically this is the time when it gets cold, the little critters like to go inside. And so we are actually having an issue. The request is to actually do a multiple award as indicated in your packet.
Dr. Cleveland, do you want to add anything on the pest control one? No. Any questions from the board?
Madam President, this is Board Member Tyler. I'll make a motion to award ITB number 2026-003 Integrated Pest Control to a multiple award to ABQ Rio Rancho Pest Solutions Incorporated, Preventative Pest Control LLC, and Eco Pest Protection LLC.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. I will say really quick, I learned something new when it comes to pest control in vehicles because we had a vehicle get eaten up by little critters. But if you put peppermint on cotton balls and just like put them all over inside the car, it keeps them out. And I will attest that it actually works. So there you go. You learned something new tonight.
Yeah. Next contract is electrical contractor. Again, multiple awards for the same reason. All of these vendors we've done business with. One of the new companies, United Power, will be new to our district. I stand for questions.
Questions from the board? Comments from Dr. Cleveland on this one? Okay.
This is Board Member Tyler. I'll make a motion to award RFP number 2026-005-FAC Electrical Contractor on Demand to a multi-award for B&D Industries, Inc., Conti Energy Controls, HEI, Inc., McDade Woodcock, Inc., TLC Services, LLC, U.S. Electric, United Power Industries, LLC, and Weiser Electric, LLC.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay.
Next contract is HVAC contractor. Again, multiple awards, all vendors that we've done business with. We added 2 new vendors, Conti and Butler, and I stand for questions.
Okay. Questions from the board or comments on this one? Okay.
Board Member Tyler, I'll make a motion to award RFP number 2026-006 FAC for HVAC contractor on demand to a multi-award to B&D Industries, Inc., Butler Sheet Metal and Mechanical, Conti Energy Controls, JB Henderson Construction Company, TLC Services, and Weiser Electric, LLC.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Okay, thank you. We need more board members in the room today. All in favor on this? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. You did. Any opposed on that? Motion carries. Go on.
Next contract will be for a plumbing contractor. Again, multiple awards for the same reason. There was one vendor that was non-responsive. I stand for questions.
Okay, questions from the board or any comments? Okay.
Board Member Tyler, I'll make a motion to award RFP number 2026-007 FAC for plumbing contractor on demand to a multi-award to B&D Industries, Inc., JB Henderson Construction Company, TLC Services, LLC, and Weiser Electric, LLC.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bless you.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Good. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, next contract, glass repair. There was only one response, so this one was pretty straightforward. I stand for questions.
Okay. Questions from the board or any comments on this?
Board Member Tyler, I'll make a motion to award ITB number 2026-008-FAC glass repair and maintenance on demand to ASAP Glass LLC.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
I,
Motion carries. Okay, and Dr. Cleveland, go ahead.
I just, again, want to thank the people who bid on this, but these are services, as you can see, that we need immediate response.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need more than one to be sure that we get that, but it's to protect our assets and to protect further damage, and in some cases to prevent future damage done by individuals. So
Mhm.
we thank those who have bid on this. They give us the flexibility to keep our schools in working order short period of time.
Yeah. And thank you to them as well. And, you know, and just on this, as we're going through these quickly, I think it's really important that the public knows that we receive all of these things in advance. So we're able to look through them and go through them. And then of course they're presented here. So, but go ahead, Mike, you can finish.
Yeah, good point. So are we on last item?
We are the last item. Actually, there's 6 more and you just didn't have them in front of you.
Yeah, so this one is, it's straightforward yet very technical. And so I want to thank our chief counsel, general counsel, Lauren Hatch and Dave Mann for all the work they put into this. The transaction is actually, sounds very simple, and that is we want to acquire approximately a ½ acre of property from AMREP Southwest. We have been communicating to the board for, it's well over a year to actually make this transaction happen. The property was appraised at $22,000, again, for approximately ½ acre. The purpose of the acquisition, and we've actually purchased some land just west of Cielo in order to construct at a later date a bus loop and some parking that will basically help with the safety and the traffic out there. And so we see some construction. We know that there's been a recent development just to the north of the school, and there are developers that are looking to develop a lot of that open property, again, to the north of Cielo. So we know as that community grows, the traffic congestion will continue, but I think we have a good plan in order to make that traffic safer for the public, but it will take this last piece of acquisition in order to make that happen. Anyway, I stand for questions, and Mr. Hatch, Mr. Mann, they're here as well in order to handle any technical questions. And I assure you, there's a lot of technical issues concerning this acquisition, and the reason is because the purchase from AMREP Southwest.
All right. Dr. Cleveland, do you want to add some things before
Just,
we?
this has been a long time in coming, so I appreciate everyone who's just stayed the course and made it happen. Certainly the traffic situation, I'm sure you are aware, is very difficult there. And so that will improve that. We also were concerned, particularly earlier on, and lesson learned, you buy property, buy all the way to the street, because there was concern about what might go in there as well at some point. So, and just a reminder to the board that at that same general area, there's a middle school site that the district also owns. So even looking to the future, this is really important for the future of that entire area. So again, thanks to everyone who worked on this. This was, as you said, a very complicated real estate matter.
Thank you. Other questions from the board? Gary, do you have any questions?
no questions. Thank you.
Okay. Beth, any questions? Jessica, okay. We can go for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Cielo Azul land purchase transaction and the delegation to close.
Board Member Miller, I second the motion.
Motion by Jessica Tyler, second by Beth Miller. All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? None opposed. So
All right, thank you.
thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Looking towards advanced planning. The board's schedule is going to be kind of busy, so make sure you're paying attention to your calendar that's coming out from JC. But upcoming, just for the district, we have the Thanksgiving holiday. That will be next week, and there'll be a bus rider countdown the 1st. But some of the big upcoming things, just even for the public to know, on the 4th, we will be finalizing our questions for our superintendent. And we also have the NMSBA annual conference that same weekend. And then our next regular scheduled board meeting will be December 8th here in this boardroom. We also will have our initial interviews for candidates on December 8th and 9th. And then the plan is for December 15th through the 17th to have our finalist interviews for candidates for our superintendent. Any questions on the calendar as it's coming up? Go ahead,
Just
Dr.
a
Cleveland.
comment.
One,
Go ahead, Gary.
Madam
Go ahead.
no questions, just a comment, and I just want to congratulate you and your family, and what a great cross-country event. And I wish they would have put your daughter's picture in the paper for runner-up finish. So I just want to make sure you do a lot of work for this community and this district, and great honor for your family. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet. He's talking about cross country. My kids both ran cross country, for those who don't know, and they had a great state meet along with Rio Rancho did great, and Cleveland did also. And our schools are they've done well in everything that they've been doing. But
They just trade first place back and forth.
they do, and that's the best.
Extremely competitive.
It's it is. Yeah, it's the best.
I do want to, again, just to absolutely emphasize, December 1st is Bus Rider Day. And so much of our funding is dependent upon a good showing on that day. So that's the day if your children ride the bus, please be sure they're on the bus so that they can be counted. And that translates into the funding that we need to be able to operate our transportation system. So this year, it's really easy to remember, December 1st. If your children ride the bus, be sure they're on the bus that day. And we really appreciate it.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Our meeting's adjourned for tonight. Thank you.